I want to start today with something I hear from patients in my clinic regularly, and it is one of the most frustrating patterns I see in geriatric medicine. I'm Dr. Carolyn Marsh, a geriatric physician and nutritional medicine specialist with over 20 years of clinical experience working with older Americans. And in my practice, I frequently meet adults in their 70s and 80s who are doing everything they believe is right for their health. They are eating protein at every meal. They are watching their calories. They are trying to stay active. And they are still losing muscle mass, strength, and balance, slowly, steadily, and in ways that worry them deeply. When I dig into what they are actually eating, a clear pattern emerges. Their protein sources are often limited to the same few foods: eggs, chicken, yogurt, and they have never been introduced to the specific seeds that research is showing can meaningfully support muscle maintenance in older adults, often working through biological mechanisms that conventional protein sources cannot replicate as effectively after 70. Today, I want to change that. I am going to walk you through 5 seeds, all available at American grocery stores, all affordable, all backed by solid nutritional science, that can support muscle protein synthesis, reduce inflammation, improve sleep quality, and help maintain the strength and independence that matter most in your 70s and beyond. Before we get to the seeds, I want to spend 2 minutes explaining something that most older adults are never clearly told, because it changes everything about how you should think about protein. After 70, a biological shift occurs that researchers call anabolic resistance. Your muscle cells become less sensitive to the amino acid signals that normally trigger repair and growth. This means that even when you are eating adequate protein, your muscles may not be generating the repair response you expect. The activation threshold rises, and many conventional high-protein foods fail to clear that threshold efficiently in aging bodies. What the research, including work highlighted by the NIH and the Mayo Clinic, consistently shows is that muscle protein synthesis in older adults responds not just to protein quantity, but to the biological context around that protein. Anti-inflammatory compounds, specific minerals, healthy fats, and fiber all influence whether the protein you eat actually reaches and repairs muscle tissue effectively. Seeds are particularly valuable in this context because they deliver protein alongside a dense, naturally integrated package of exactly those supporting nutrients. They are whole foods in the most complete sense, not isolated nutrients, not processed powders, but the real biological complexity that aging muscles respond to best. One common mistake I want to address up front. Many older Americans have gradually shifted toward convenient, processed foods and away from whole plant foods like seeds. That shift quietly accelerates muscle loss, inflammation, and fatigue in ways that are difficult to reverse once established. Adding these 5 seeds consistently is one of the most practical, affordable, and low-effort ways to begin correcting that pattern. Seed number 5. Quinoa. Most people think of quinoa as a grain, but it is technically a seed, and that distinction matters because quinoa has a nutritional profile unlike any true grain. It is one of the very few plant foods that contains all 9 essential amino acids in meaningful quantities, making it a complete protein. For adults over 70, that completeness is genuinely valuable because the body's ability to efficiently combine incomplete proteins from separate plant sources declines with age. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults consuming quinoa as a regular protein source showed meaningfully better muscle protein synthesis outcomes compared to those relying primarily on refined carbohydrate sources. The lysine content in quinoa is particularly relevant after 70. Lysine is an essential amino acid that plays a direct role in muscle tissue repair and is frequently underrepresented in typical American diets of older adults. Quinoa also contains ecdysterone, a naturally occurring plant compound that early research suggests may support muscle protein synthesis by a mechanism distinct from conventional amino acid pathways. The research is still developing, but it is one of the reasons quinoa has attracted growing attention in aging and exercise science communities. How to use it? Soak quinoa in water for several hours before cooking to reduce saponins, naturally occurring compounds that can mildly irritate the digestive tract. Rinse thoroughly, then cook in low-sodium chicken or vegetable broth rather than plain water. This adds flavor and additional nutrients. 1 cup of cooked quinoa at breakfast or lunch provides approximately 8 grams of complete protein alongside magnesium, iron, and B vitamins. Serve warm rather than cold. Cooking softens the texture and makes it considerably easier on aging digestive systems. Pair with leafy greens and a drizzle of olive oil for a nutritionally complete meal. Seed number 4. Pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are among the most nutrient-dense foods available at any American supermarket, and they address a cluster of nutritional deficiencies that are remarkably common in adults over 70. The standout nutrients are zinc and magnesium. Zinc deficiency affects a significant proportion of older Americans. Estimates suggest 35 to 45% of adults over 65 are mildly deficient, and zinc plays a direct role in protein synthesis, immune function, wound healing, and testosterone regulation. A single ounce of pumpkin seeds covers approximately 20% of the daily recommended zinc intake in a highly bioavailable form. Magnesium from pumpkin seeds, approximately 40% of daily needs per ounce, supports over 300 enzymatic processes involved in energy metabolism and muscle contraction. Magnesium also regulates GABA receptors that facilitate deep sleep onset, which is critical because the majority of muscle repair happens during deep sleep. Adults over 70 who are low in magnesium frequently experience poor sleep quality and nighttime muscle cramps, both of which respond well to consistent dietary magnesium from whole food sources. Research findings have shown that older adults who corrected zinc deficiency through food sources demonstrated measurable improvements in grip strength and walking speed within 12 weeks of consistent intake, without any other changes to their diet or exercise habits. Pumpkin seeds also contain tryptophan, which converts to serotonin in the brain and supports the regulation of sleep architecture. A food that simultaneously supports protein synthesis, minerals, and sleep quality addresses 2 independent mechanisms of muscle preservation at once. How to use them? Purchase raw pumpkin seeds, also marketed as pepitas at most stores. Lightly toast at 300 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 to 15 minutes for a pleasant flavor. Avoid heavily salted or oil-roasted commercial varieties, which add sodium and inflammatory vegetable oils. Add to oatmeal, yogurt, soups, or salads. 1 to 2 ounces daily is a practical and research-consistent target. Do not eat them alongside high-calcium foods if possible, as very high zinc and calcium intake simultaneously can mildly compete for absorption. Seed number 3. Hemp seeds. Hemp seeds hold a special place on this list because they combine complete protein with the optimal fatty acid profile for managing the chronic inflammation that drives muscle loss in older adults. And they do this in the simplest, most effort-free form possible. 3 tablespoons of hemp seeds provide approximately 10 grams of complete protein, all 9 essential amino acids in proportions that closely match what human muscle tissue requires. The proteins in hemp seeds, edestin and albumin, are among the most digestible plant proteins known, with research suggesting bioavailability approaching 90% in healthy digestive systems, considerably higher than many animal proteins in adults over 70 whose stomach acid and enzyme production has declined. The omega-6 to omega-3 ratio in hemp seeds, naturally around 3 to 1, is considered by nutritionists as close to optimal for anti-inflammatory signaling. The American Heart Association has consistently highlighted the importance of this ratio for cardiovascular health, but it matters equally for muscle health. Chronic low-grade inflammation, increasingly common after 60, directly impairs the muscle protein synthesis response and accelerates the progression of sarcopenia. Hemp seeds also contain gamma-linolenic acid, GLA, a rare anti-inflammatory fatty acid found in very few food sources. GLA supports joint health, skin integrity, and cardiovascular function, all areas of increasing concern in the decade after 70. The mineral profile of hemp seeds reinforces their value. Meaningful magnesium, phosphorus, zinc, potassium, and iron in a single serving. For older adults managing multiple nutritional vulnerabilities simultaneously, that mineral breadth covers a remarkable range of needs. How to use them? Hemp seeds require no preparation, no grinding, no soaking, no cooking. Sprinkle 3 tablespoons over yogurt, oatmeal, soup, or a salad. Add to a smoothie. The flavor is mild and nutty, blending seamlessly with almost any food. Do not heat hemp seeds above moderate temperatures. High heat degrades the omega-3 content and reduces their anti-inflammatory value. Store in the refrigerator after opening to protect the delicate oils. Consistent daily use over 8 to 12 weeks is where meaningful benefits become most apparent. Seed number 2, chia seeds. Chia seeds earn their place near the top of this list for a combination of benefits that is genuinely difficult to replicate with any other single food. Complete protein, omega-3 fatty acids, soluble fiber, calcium, and exceptional hydration support, all in 2 tablespoons that can be added to almost anything. When chia seeds absorb liquid, they expand and form a gel that slows nutrient absorption, creating a sustained, steady release of amino acids and glucose over several hours, rather than the sharp spikes and drops that aging muscles cannot fully utilize. For adults over 70 who may eat smaller, less frequent meals, this sustained amino acid availability helps maintain a more stable anabolic environment throughout the day. Chia seeds are one of the rare plant foods containing all 9 essential amino acids. They also provide more calcium per serving than cow's milk, meaningful iron, and approximately 5 grams of omega-3 fatty acids per 2 tablespoon serving. Research from the University of Toronto found that older adults consuming chia seeds daily for 6 months showed a 19% improvement in physical endurance assessments and significant reductions in inflammatory markers associated with muscle wasting. The soluble fiber in chia seeds feeds beneficial gut bacteria that produce short-chain fatty acids, particularly butyrate, which reduce intestinal inflammation, strengthen the gut lining, and improve the overall absorption efficiency of nutrients from everything else you eat. For adults over 70 whose gut microbiome diversity has declined, this prebiotic effect is meaningfully valuable. Chia seeds also provide boron, manganese, and phosphorus, minerals that support calcium metabolism and bone integrity, both of which directly underpin the structural framework that muscles depend on. I had a patient, 74-year-old Carol from Ohio, who came to me with chronic fatigue, poor sleep, and mild muscle weakness. Her diet was protein adequate, but lacked anti-inflammatory foods and healthy fats. We added chia pudding to her breakfast routine. Within 8 weeks, she reported more stable energy through the day and noticeably better sleep quality. By her 3-month appointment, her fatigue scores had improved significantly. How to use them? Mix 3 tablespoons of chia seeds with 1 cup of almond milk, regular milk, or water. Refrigerate for at least 4 hours or overnight. Add cinnamon, berries, or a small drizzle of honey. This chia pudding requires 0 cooking and makes an ideal breakfast or afternoon snack. Unlike flax seeds, chia does not need to be ground. Its small size allows digestive enzymes to access nutrients without mechanical processing. You can also sprinkle directly on yogurt, oatmeal, or soup. Always consume chia with adequate liquid. Eating it dry can cause digestive discomfort. Seed number 1. Ground flax seeds. Flax seeds earn the top position on this list because they address something that none of the other 4 seeds target as directly: the hormonal and inflammatory environment in which muscle maintenance occurs after 70. The key compounds are lignans, plant polyphenols found in flax seeds at concentrations up to 800 times higher than any other food source. Lignans support healthy hormone metabolism in both men and women. As estrogen and testosterone shift with age, these hormonal changes directly impair the body's ability to maintain muscle mass. Lignans from food sources provide a gentle, natural way to support hormone balance through dietary means. Flax seeds are also the richest plant source of alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid. A large meta-analysis published in Nutrients examining over 20,000 adults found that higher ALA intake was associated with a 23% reduction in all-cause mortality among adults over 70. The connection between omega-3 fatty acids and preserved muscle mass is well established. The Washington University School of Medicine has documented that omega-3 availability enhances the anabolic response to protein intake in older adults, meaning the body becomes more efficient at directing amino acids into muscle tissue rather than metabolizing them as energy. The combination of soluble and insoluble fiber in flax seeds supports blood sugar stability, and this matters for muscle health because insulin resistance, increasingly common after 70, directly impairs the body's ability to channel amino acids into muscle tissue. Stable blood sugar means more of the protein you eat actually reaches your muscles. Flax seeds also provide thiamine, a B vitamin that supports energy metabolism and neurological function critical for muscle coordination and fall prevention, and that research consistently shows is underconsumed in adults over 70. Critical preparation note: whole flax seeds pass through the digestive system almost entirely undigested. You must grind them to release their nutrients. Use a small coffee grinder and grind only what you plan to consume that day. The omega-3 oils oxidize within hours of grinding and lose their biological activity. Add 2 tablespoons of freshly ground flax to oatmeal, yogurt, or a smoothie each morning. Do not add to very hot foods. High heat degrades the omega-3 content. Store whole flax seeds at room temperature and grind fresh daily. This single preparation step is the difference between flax seeds being one of the most nutritionally valuable foods you eat and being essentially inert fiber passing through your system. Here is a practical daily framework that incorporates all 5 seeds without requiring significant meal changes. Morning: chia pudding prepared the night before. 3 tablespoons chia in 1 cup almond milk. Top with berries and a sprinkle of hemp seeds. Add 2 tablespoons of freshly ground flax to oatmeal or yogurt alongside the chia pudding. Midday: 1 cup cooked quinoa as a side dish or base for a grain bowl. Top with cooked vegetables and olive oil. 1 to 2 tablespoons pumpkin seeds as a snack between meals. Evening: hemp seeds sprinkled over a salad, soup, or cooked vegetable dish at dinner. Key nutritional pairings: flax seeds plus yogurt plus berries. Omega-3 anti-inflammatory benefit combined with probiotic support that enhances overall gut absorption. Pumpkin seeds plus citrus. Organic acids from lemon or orange moderately enhance zinc absorption. Quinoa plus leafy greens plus olive oil. Fat from olive oil dramatically enhances absorption of fat-soluble vitamins in the greens. A complete and highly bioavailable meal combination. Chia pudding plus cinnamon. Cinnamon supports blood sugar stability, amplifying chia's glycemic benefit and ensuring more protein reaches muscle tissue rather than being metabolized as energy. Before I close, 3 clinical points I want to address directly. Do not eat whole flax seeds and expect results. This is one of the most common and consequential mistakes I see. Whole flax seeds are nutritionally inert in practice. Ground flax, freshly ground, used the same day, is the only form that delivers meaningful omega-3 and lignin benefit. Avoid flavored, processed seed products. Honey-roasted pumpkin seeds, sweetened chia bars, and flavored quinoa mixes often contain more sugar, sodium, and refined oils than the seeds themselves. Always default to raw or minimally processed forms. Consistency over quantity. Research on these seeds in older adult populations consistently shows that meaningful benefits emerge after 8 to 12 weeks of daily intake. Starting with a large quantity for 1 week and stopping produces no lasting benefit. Small, daily, consistent habits over months produce the compound effects the studies document. Clinical considerations. If you manage kidney disease, discuss phosphorus-rich seeds, pumpkin and hemp, with your physician. If you take blood thinners, the vitamin K and omega-3 content of flax and chia warrants mention to your doctor. Introduce each seed individually if you have a history of digestive sensitivity. Maintaining strength, mobility, and independence after 70 is not about dramatic dietary overhauls. It is about building consistent, evidence-informed habits that give your body what it genuinely needs at this stage of life. Quinoa, pumpkin seeds, hemp seeds, chia seeds, and ground flax seeds each address a different aspect of the nutritional gap that opens in older adults. Protein quality, mineral density, anti-inflammatory fatty acids, hormonal support, and gut health. Start with one seed this week. Make it a daily habit. Give it 12 weeks. Your muscles, your sleep, your energy, and your balance will thank you for it. If this was useful, please share it with someone you care about, give it a like, and subscribe to Healthy Senior Tips for more evidence-based nutrition guidance built specifically for Americans over 60. Take good care of yourself. I will see you in the next one.